Good afternoon, everybody, and thank you for joining us. My name is Eileen Lieberman. I'm Director of Development of the Westchester Community College Foundation, and I'm absolutely delighted to introduce an incredible opportunity for the students of WCC who will be graduating this May. First, the WCC Foundation has been raising money on behalf of our students for over 50 years with a focus on scholarships, and I'm sure many of you are scholarship recipients. We are now partnering with our good friends at the PepsiCo Foundation for an extraordinary transfer opportunity. Westchester Community College is one of only 3 community colleges in the nation to be awarded a Smiles Transfer Scholarship. You've been invited to this session because you have amassed 45 plus credits, you have a GPA of 3.0 or greater, and you are on track to graduate this May. So to tell you more about the Smiles Scholarship opportunity, I'm going to introduce my friend, Tracy Rue White from PepsiCo, to tell you a little bit more. Oh, and some housekeeping things. Number 1, we are recording this session for the students who can't attend. And number 2, if you have a question, please feel free to post it in the chat. At the end of the presentation, we're going to answer all questions. So without further ado, Tracy.
Thank you so much, Eileen. Hello and good afternoon, Westchester Community College family. My name is Tracy Rue White. I am so honored to be with you all on this call this afternoon, and I'm just truly excited to be sharing some information with you about this phenomenal scholarship opportunity. Thank you to Eileen and Jose, Cornelia, Mark, and the rest of the Westchester Community College team who helped pull this information session together for us. We really wanted to ensure that all of you students who met that eligibility criteria as Eileen outlined received this link for this special invitation for the call today, just to ensure you have all the information and give you an opportunity to ask any outlying questions that you have as we are approaching the scholarship deadline. So to tell you all just a bit about myself, I have been with PepsiCo for about 8.5 years. Most of that time has been in our HR generalist, HR business partner space. But about 4 months ago, I took on an exciting opportunity to create a brand new community college program at PepsiCo, specifically to help lead the upstart of a scholarship program in which we would work with partner community colleges in our 3 headquarter locations in New York, Texas, and Illinois to provide scholarships to community college students graduating and matriculating on to a 4-year university. So essentially, this scholarship opportunity is going to and we'll get into this a little bit further on the next slide, but this scholarship opportunity is going to help bridge the gap financially for students who are moving on to a 4-year university to attain your bachelor's degree. So I won't give too many other spoilers because I know Eileen has some great questions prepared, but really looking forward to sharing this information with everyone on the call today and listening to any additional questions you may have.
Okay, thank you, Tracy. Why don't we start out by asking, who is PepsiCo?
Wow, so that's a great question. And interestingly enough, sometimes when we say PepsiCo, we add that co on. It sounds a little confusing, but most folks, I think, recognize Pepsi as a household name. But PepsiCo, our broader parent company, is a major global food and beverage corporation. So we have over $64 billion in revenue and more than 260,000 employees across the globe. So you can imagine that's a pretty massive footprint as it pertains to global operations. Our food and beverages are consumed more than 1 billion times every single day. across more than 200 countries and territories around the world. We're made up of two distinct global businesses, again, foods and beverages. And a fun fact about PepsiCo is that 22 of the brands in our portfolios bring in over $1 billion in retail sales every single year by themselves. And a few of those major brands that you may be familiar with include Pepsi-Cola, Quaker Oats, Tropicana, Lay's, and Gatorade. Oh, I'd like to share. Oh, go ahead, Eileen.
I was going to say, it sounds like everything we need for a party.
That's right. That's right. So we do just that. We really pride ourselves, and it's our mission to bring more smiles with every sip and every bite. And one way that we do that, obviously, is providing a very diverse portfolio of products across categories that we call fun for you, good for you, and better for you. So whether you're having a gathering, you're like, I don't care about calories. We're not counting carbs, right? We just want to have a good time. We've got products that are going to, help really bring your party to life. But if you are, very focused on nutrition, we've got a whole nutritional portion of our portfolio that's available as well. So we pride ourselves on being diverse in that aspect. And another way that we are able to provide more smiles, pun intended, as that's the name of the scholarship we're talking about today, is through our PepsiCo Foundation. So the PepsiCo Foundation is our company's philanthropic arm. And at the PepsiCo Foundation, we really believe that thriving communities can change the world. So, the foundation has been investing in creating impact since 1962. And it's been focusing support on the essential elements of creating a sustainable food system. So we do that through helping to alleviate hunger, managing water and waste responsibly, and then supporting women to drive economic growth and food security. Some of the foundation's most recent work includes a partnership with the National Urban League to launch a Black Restaurant Accelerator Program, which is powered by a $10 million grant, as well as funding the scholarship opportunities that we're here to discuss today, which will result in a $40 million investment through 2025.
Wow, that's a big investment.
Yeah.
And so we're here to talk about the Smile Scholarship, and I'd love you to talk about what's behind the Smile Scholarship, as well as what the award is.
Absolutely. So today, as Eileen said, we're talking about the SMILE Scholarship, and SMILE is an acronym which stands for Success Matters in Life and Education. And the thought behind this scholarship was really inspired by our company's racial equality journey. So back in June of last year, PepsiCo made some pretty strategic plans to help impact and uplift the Black and Hispanic communities. And we're doing so with multi-million dollar spend. And when I multi-million dollar combined, it's well over $650 million that the company will be investing through 2025 in multiple ways. And one of those ways is through providing scholarship opportunities for community college students. So this SMILE Scholarship is for Westchester Community College students who are transitioning to a 4-year college or university. And the funding for this scholarship is going to help cover the cost of attendance, which will include tuition and fees, but also can be applied towards books and housing and other wraparound support up to $25,000 a year. And the scholarship is renewable for 1 year. So students basically have the opportunity to be awarded up to $50,000 in total towards earning a bachelor's degree. And we have earmarked 10 scholarships specifically for WCC students for this SMILE Scholarship this year. So we're super excited about that. And the selection will be facilitated by our vendor, Scholarship America.
Excellent. Thank you so much. So in addition to incredibly generous funding, what other special opportunities are associated with students who become SMILE scholars?
Yes, so thank you for asking. So to Eileen's point, there is, the funding, which is a huge opportunity to help bridge the gap, right, and mitigate financial constraints. But the Smile Scholarship, what we think makes it unique and somewhat differentiates it from other scholarships available is that we're really interested in putting the students first. So it's incredibly important to us that we take into account student success in all aspects. And with that in mind, we've created a robust suite of development opportunities for students in which the recipients will have the opportunity to have one-on-one mentors assigned from PepsiCo. So you'll have access to a professional mentor. And we're leveraging our internal employee resource groups that cater specifically to our Black and Hispanic associates so that these recipients have mentors that look like them, that sound like them, that may have similar cultural experiences, right? So that in having, these relationships, those are some of those conversations that you don't necessarily have to have, or, ice that doesn't have to be broken because we're coming in with a mutual understanding based on shared experiences. And from there can build trust and truly leverage the opportunity for our PepsiCo professionals to share their knowledge, their expertise, and their experience with the recipients. In addition to the mentoring opportunities, there will be leadership development on soft skills like interview prep and resume writing and emotional intelligence. We also have a series of executive speakers that will come on and share about key industry trends and learnings. We also have functional deep dives in which we will spotlight career opportunities in areas like finance or marketing or research and development, so that as recipients are making this transition to their four-year university and they're exploring all of the different options this bachelor's degree will unlock for them, they also have another lens to look through to understand what a career in one of those functions may look like. So again, we're really trying to build out this scholarship, not just as a one-time funding reward, but truly as an interactive experience. We want to stay with the recipients throughout their journey and do whatever we can to help ensure their success.
This is an incredible opportunity for our students. And so is this open to students of all majors?
Great question. So all students are eligible to apply. If you meet those initial eligibility criteria, regardless of your major, you can apply. We are giving preference to business and STEM majors. And the goal of these scholarships, again, is to remove barriers to access in education, as well as increase the likelihood that these recipients are able to secure employment post-graduation. We recognize the high demand for jobs within the business and STEM field, and we're committed to helping amplify the talent pool of diverse candidates across the foods ecosystem.
Excellent. And what about international students? Are they eligible?
So this is an answer that really makes me excited because there are no limitations as it pertains to citizenship for this scholarship. So what's key here is that you're planning to transition to a four-year university here in the United States, but outside of that, your citizenship in a different country would not remove you from being selected.
That's great. And so what is the balance between merit and financial based on your decision on who's a recipient?
Yeah, so for this scholarship, we've taken a bit of a hybrid approach. So academics and leadership experience, excuse me, through like work opportunities or community involvement have equal weighting in the consideration criteria. And then additionally, there's an essay topic centered around how the applicants would use the scholarship to unlock their educational career goals after having established financial need for the scholarship. So need is a part of it, but we're also weighing in that academic excellence along with experience. Now, I also want to point out, we understand that there may be some unusual circumstances at play that may have prevented some students from having the opportunity to have that work experience or be able to participate in extracurricular activities. So students will also have the opportunity to share that in their application if that applies.
Great. So the deadline is coming up. I know it's been extended because of all of the storms all over the nation.
Yes, that's
So
right.
could you tell us what the deadline is, where
Absolutely.
can apply?
Absolutely. So, to your point, right, the initial deadline was last Thursday, February 25th, but with the significant impacts of the winter storm over the last couple of weeks, we we made the decision to extend the scholarship deadline to this Thursday, March 4th. So the scholarship application portal will close at 3 p.m. Central, 4 p.m. Eastern. So once again, the scholarship portal will close on Thursday, March 4th at 3 p.m. Central, 4 p.m. Eastern.
So can you reiterate again what materials students will need in order to make the application?
Yes.
Transcripts, letters?
Yes, so the base requirements in order to apply are your transcripts. They can be official or unofficial. They just need to have your name, your school name, and then your grade point average as of your last completed semester, along with the total number of credits that you have earned through that institution. Or if you've gone to multiple institutions, you'll want to upload, well, basically it'll be your most recent transcript that shows the total approved credit hours you have.
And essays or letters of recommendation, are they part of the application?
So there is an essay portion of the application, which establishes that financial need part, as well as how you will leverage the scholarship. Letters of recommendation can be uploaded, but they're not required.
Okay, great. And when will you choose the recipients?
So recipients will be selected by April 26th.
Excellent. In time for commencement.
That's right.
And if students need help with their application, I believe we've just put some information up here on your screen. Again, the application is through an organization called Scholarship America. The application is on the left side of your screen. And if you need help, there's an email and a phone number to call. And operators are standing by because we want you to succeed.
That's right.
Now I think Jose is going to help us with some questions from the group.
Yep, we've got some fantastic questions coming in from the chat room. Mickey Hamlet asks, will there be another opportunity to apply for students who are planning to transfer to 4 years in the four-year school in the fall, but do not meet the credit requirements upon completion for the summer semester?
So thank you so much, Mickey, for that question. It is a great one. Our application period as it stands currently does end on March 4th. And that is the opportunity to apply for scholarships that will apply for fall 2021. The next application window would apply for fall 2022. So unfortunately, if you have not met the 45-hour requirement as of January 2021, you would have to wait until the next cycle to apply.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Great question.
All right, students, feel free to pose those questions inside of the chat room. Also, I think Tracy would love to see more of you. So if you folks don't mind turning on your cameras, and feel free to share those questions live and in person if you like at this time also. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Raisa. I'm hoping to study architecture. Would that be considered in the STEM area or be part of the consideration?
That's a great question. So I'm honestly not sure if they are including architecture in the STEM outline. I would recommend that you send that question to the email address listed on the screen, that PepsiCo Smile at scholarshipamerica.org website, and they should be able to provide you a little more information based on their definition of STEM.
But Tracy, it's true that it doesn't matter what your major is, you should make the application anyway.
Correct.
Even though there might be a preference for STEM and business, it doesn't mean that it excludes anybody else.
That's exactly right.
So
I've
go
got an-
for it.
That's right. Thank you for that question, Riza.
Yep. So Jessica is asking in the chat room, does the 4-year college have to be a private college?
Ah, great. I'm
Good
sorry,
question.
and I want to make sure I heard, does it have to be a private college?
Yes.
It does not. It can be public or private. Great question.
Good questions,
Thank you.
folks. Anyone else live and direct, or feel free to post inside of the chat?
Hello, my name is Nadia, and
Nadia.
I just want to ask, I'm nursing students who are going for the bachelor's in nursing in a 4-year college. Will that be possible for them?
And I'm just going to repeat to make sure I understood. Your question is if you're still waiting on an acceptance letter to your 4-year, should you still apply? Is that your question?
I believe she was asking about having a nursing, pursuing a nursing degree. Would they be eligible to apply?
Oh, thank you, Jose. Yes. So as Eileen just shared, all majors are eligible to apply. There is a preference toward business and majors. However, no one will be excluded.
Okay, thank you.
Absolutely.
How many recipients will be receiving the scholarship from WCC?
10. We have 10 scholarships specifically earmarked for Westchester Community College students.
All right, thank you.
Remember, they're potentially 2-year awards, so you can complete your bachelor's. So you're looking at potentially $25,000 a year for 2 years, which is a $50,000 investment in your education, plus all of those other incredible mentorships.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's an incredible opportunity.
So a follow-up question. So the mentorship program, how does that work again? I might have missed it. So go ahead.
Sure. So for the recipients, we are offering, and I should definitely be clear here that these are optional voluntary opportunities for the students to opt into as it pertains to the professional development. But we strongly encourage students to take advantage of, these opportunities to have this support. So we will be aligning our recipients with a direct one-to-one mentor from PepsiCo that will help them as they transition from community college onto their 4-year university. So as you're, and again, these are not academic experts by any means, but they'll be here to provide professional advice as you start to prepare for things like internship opportunities that are coming up, or if you're looking to have a summer work experience or taking on a job potentially while you're enrolled in school, helping to prepare you for those, but also be a listening ear, right? And just provide life advice based on their own experience. This is going to be a great resource for all of the recipients to have. And again, because this scholarship is specifically tied to our racial equality journey and is targeting our Black and Hispanic students at WCC, it's also very important to us that we create this sense of community. So in those mentor pairings, we're absolutely taking into account how the students identify, and we'll pair them with a mentor that also identifies with those specific cohorts to help create a bit of an organic relationship, right? Based on shared experiences of coming from similar or the same culture.
Yeah, thank you so much. That was a good answer.
Absolutely, absolutely.
I think
Mickey's
question.
Yeah, Mickey, go ahead.
Hi, just to follow up from my question from before. So since this is a scholarship that only applies to students who are transferring from a 2-year community college to a 4-year, as I stated before, if you don't meet the requirements, by this deadline, but then transfer to a 4-year, then I technically wouldn't be able to apply then for the following year, correct?
Correct.
Since I would already be in the 4-year.
Correct. Yeah,
Okay,
I appreciate that question, and that sparks a something for me to take offline back to our team as we consider, because this is the first year, right, that we are entering into this space. This is somewhat uncharted territory for us, as we are partnering with our community colleges, and folks like Eileen have taught us so much, right? But even having these sorts of conversations, Mickey, and hearing those questions around, you know, what opportunities are available and what may best support students through this transition, that's a great question for us to take back and potentially consider as we look at creating cycle 2.
Hello, it's Nadia again.
Hi,
Um,
Nadia.
I was to ask, if a student were to graduate with an associate in nursing, no, not nursing, an associate in science, right? And they had to transfer to a 4-year college to do like health management. Would that be any criteria to their scholarship?
I think it sounds like you'd still be eligible as long as you have 45 credits as of January and will be transferring. Again, even though STEM and business might be preferred, if you have a health degree, you'll still be considered.
Right.
Okay.
Cyril, you have a question for us?
Yeah, sure. I'm a student here. I've been here for approximately 4 years. So engineering students do qualify first. Is that, I just wanted to ask that first. Is that correct?
So again, there are no limitations on major. All students who are enrolled at WCC and meet those initial eligibility criteria around identifying as Black, African American, Hispanic, or Latino have a minimum of 45 credit hours completed as of January 2021 and are planning to transition to a 4-year college or university in the United States are eligible to apply regardless of your major.
Okay, that's awesome. Just as a note, I have like 149 credits already, and I've been accepted to Oregon Institute of Technology. They're like the #1 school in renewable energy engineering. So I'm going into a concurrent degree program for renewable energy engineering and electrical engineering. And this couldn't come at a better time because I've been trying to figure out, you know, how to afford and transition. And I've been taking colleges at Westchester Community College courses because they've been cost effective. So I'm really in need. And this looks good. As if I'm an engineer and I can qualify and this can work out. I think this is great that you guys are helping students because there's a lot of gray area and sometimes we don't know. So the mentorship and everything you're doing, I really appreciate it, the opportunity. So I'm really looking forward to filling out this application. I think it's wonderful what you're doing.
So
That's phenomenal.
as soon as we get off this, you're going to be doing your application, right?
I already sent you a letter because for some reason I couldn't do it online. I was so excited when I saw it. I've been trying to register online, but for some reason it didn't go through. So I really need to make it go through. I mean, I'm more than qualified for this and I need this because I need to save the planet. That's why I'm doing renewable energy
Nice.
engineering. So I'm on a mission right here. I'm an adult student. I mean, like I'm Phi Theta Kappa. I've been doing all of that. Not
Awesome.
for anything, but this is opportunity that would really need. So I'm on it. I sent you an email, Eileen, and to everyone else. And this is great. I mean, this is awesome. I mean, this is like God sent this. I mean, really.
Well, thank you, Sarah. I want to address a few things. First and foremost, congratulations on all of your accomplishments and on your acceptance to your school. I think that is phenomenal, and we certainly wish you the very best. And I have no doubt that you will go out and change the world. As it pertains to that feedback that you shared, like those are just gems, right? So thank you so much for that affirmation because again, we're trying to put students first and we put a lot of thought into this program and what we thought would be helpful and value added. So we greatly appreciate you sharing that feedback on how you see this impacting the lives of students like yourselves. And then finally, as it pertains to your registration, I do want to call out, because we've done a couple of these information sessions with our other schools, and we were on a call yesterday with students from the City Colleges of Chicago, and they made a point around when you create your profile, you have an opportunity to select, I believe it's your institution, and there's program, right? The programs that you want to apply to, and there's a drop-down box. In that drop-down box, you want to select undergraduate / post-secondary. And when you make that selection, that will allow you to then, in the system, register as eligible for the PepsiCo Foundation Smile Scholarship. So once again, it's the drop-down box, and you want to select undergraduate / post-secondary. And for any students who have received a message, you've created your profile, you've received a message that says you're not eligible for the PepsiCo Foundation Smile Scholarship, making that change should rectify that for you. If you go in, you make that change and you're still having issues, go ahead and send an email directly to that email address there, PepsiCo smile@scholarshipamerica.org. They are on standby monitoring that account to ensure that they're having timely responses to emails and student questions. But making that change hopefully will rectify that issue for you.
Okay, great. That's awesome.
Excellent. Yes, please write down this email and this phone number, because there's only a little bit of time to get your applications in. And we
Yes.
want to make sure as many WCC students as possible qualify for those 10 places.
That's right.
I've got two questions that have just come up in the chat. The first one is from Brenda. She says, I've already completed 47 credits for January 2021, but my graduation at WCC is scheduled for December 2021. Am I still considered eligible for the scholarship?
That's a great question, Brenda. And as long as you have met that 45 credit hour threshold, you are eligible for the scholarship.
Thank you
But
so
you-
much.
Absolutely. You do have to be planning to enroll for fall 2021 at your four-year university.
Yeah, usually that's what I'm planning. My major is environmental science, and I'm planning to keep going with that major in a
Great.
4 years university.
Great.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Congratulations.
For the benefit of our students, I've posted the link to apply and for more information inside of the chat. And now a question from Jessica. She says, is this scholarship applied to the fall 2021? I graduated in spring 2021 and am transferring to a 4-year school in the fall of 2021.
Thank you for your question, Jessica. So if I'm understanding correctly, you are going to be graduating this spring of 2021, and you are transferring to a 4-year university in the fall of this year, 2021. If that is correct, then this is the scholarship for you. So go ahead and submit your application, because yes, this scholarship will be dispersed in time for fall 2021 tuition and fees.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
I'm still unsure of where I'm gonna transfer to, like which 4-year college. Do I need to know that before doing the application?
Thank you for
Or
that
how would that
question.
work out?
Thank you for that. That's a good one. So you don't have to know at the time of application. However, and I think the application asks you, but you have to know for sure. You can input, maybe some of the options that you're considering. But if you were to be selected for the scholarship, in May, you would receive a scholarship acceptance form asking you to confirm the school that you will be moving forward to. And that will be after decision day, after you've declared where you're going. And then you'll receive an additional email from Scholarship America in August to do a final confirmation of where you have transferred to, so that Scholarship America knows where to send those funds.
I've got one more question coming in from the chat room. Maria Gonzalez is saying that she's a first-year college graduate from her Latino family, and she just wants to know, what are the expectations for the students who do receive these scholarships? What is Pepsi expecting from them?
Great question. And
Question.
I'm sorry, Jose, you said that was for Maria?
Yes, Maria.
Maria, thank you for your question. And I, like you, am a first generation college student. So I can certainly, right, understand some of the challenges that come along with that and really pushing forward to achieve your degree. So kudos to you for doing what you need to do to make that happen. As it pertains to expectations, you know, for that first year, it's really just meeting the scholarship application requirements, right? So submitting your scholarship, and once you're selected, the funds will be dispersed. Now, it's not a hard expectation that you participate in those professional development opportunities that I shared. Again, those are voluntary, but we do strongly encourage students to consider opting into those because they're very unique, right? One of a kind. Our professionals are you know, carving out time because they're so passionate about making a difference in the lives of these students who are selected for these scholarships. And you're having access to, I'm talking senior leaders within PepsiCo, right? So who are running our marketing function, running, you know, sales at PepsiCo, to have a peek into their minds and the experiences that they've had, how they've been able to create networks, right? What sort of capabilities it has taken them to be efficient decision makers. These are the sorts of nuggets and gems they're going to be sharing with you. It's a very, you know, curated curriculum for these students that opt into the program in a very, I'd say, intimate setting. That's the other part of what we're trying to ensure for the students, right? That it's not overwhelming. We create this cohort so there's almost a community of, you know, PepsiCo Foundation Smile Scholars who matriculate through this experience together and get to know one another. You have the opportunity to interact with scholarship recipients from the other schools, which are City Colleges of Chicago and Dallas College in Texas. So again, I think it's a really, really unique opportunity. And while it's not required, again, we would highly, highly encourage students to consider, if you're selected for the scholarship, consider opting into these opportunities so that we can keep in touch and hopefully continue to pour into each recipient value added content that's going to help you reach that end goal of not only graduating, but securing a meaningful career that hopefully increases your earning potential over time. That was a long-winded answer. I hopefully got to the point.
So Tracy, do they have to maintain a 3.0 GPA?
So that's not a requirement. They do not have to maintain the 3.0 as they go to their next school for the first year. There are going to be some requirements to renew the scholarship, and I will follow up on that GPA requirement because I don't have it right in front of me. But for year one, all you got to do is fill out this scholarship application.
Right. And I just want to say too, the experiences that executives from PepsiCo are providing are priceless, and they're going to help you no matter what field you go into or what career you go into or with any employer. These are skills that you don't learn, you live.
Right.
And I just can't underscore the incredible generosity of this kind of activity.
And Tracy, coming back to exactly what you just talked about with the renewal process, Will is asking in the chat, how would the renewal process for the Smile Scholarship work in the preceding year? Would it be just another application of this sort, or is there another process involved?
Great question. So the renewal will not require an additional application. Students will just be responsible for submitting their, excuse me, their transcripts at the four-year institution that you have transferred to confirm your GPA after your first year at that institution and confirm that you are still enrolled at that school. But you will not have to go through the application process again.
And I imagine Scholarship America will be reaching out to the PepsiCo Smile Scholars and saying, now it's time to send us your information.
That's absolutely correct. Absolutely.
All right, students, again, we posted the link to apply for the scholarship inside of the chat. Might be a good idea for you to click on that link. and leave it ready to go in your browser for when we're done with this session and you want to start your application process.
Excellent. Any other questions or comments from anyone? Again, I hope you'll all join me in thanking PepsiCo and the PepsiCo Foundation for not only having the foresight to establish something that is so vitally important in our world today, but especially for choosing Westchester Community College to be one of the 3 colleges. And students on this session, that's because of you. That's because of your persistence. It's because of your enthusiasm. It's because of your academics. So thank you for being who you are. And thank you, Tracy, for being Pepsi.
Our pleasure. It's truly our pleasure. And it's opportunities like this to engage directly with our partners at WCC as well as the students. I just can't tell you what it's doing for my heart to be able to talk to you students directly and hear about the phenomenal aspirations you have, what you're going on to pursue at these 4-year universities, the different fields you're going into. I mean, I really feel like we're in good hands, you know, as this generation of WCC graduates is going to move on and truly take on these heavy, right? Heavy concerns of the world. We're in good hands. You guys are going to solve it. You're going to bring us along and you're going to do so much good. So it's our pleasure truly to be able to extend this opportunity. And we just can't wait to see the students that are selected and follow you along your journey.
Yes, we're very, very proud of our students. Any other last questions or comments from anyone?
Yeah, I would like to make a final comment. I would just want to thank WCC again. They're the most awesome institution in the world. And I'm seriously saying that. $200 a credit versus $800 a credit. I couldn't have made it without WCC, the scholarship, all the support that they help. And it's like the universe and Pepsi, and this is a godsend to open up. And us going through the pandemic right now, it's really hard on us. And I'm telling you, I have so much faith. I didn't know how I was going to progress forward, but you know, just to have this opportunity, it just seems like things are working out in the right way. And I mean, I'm doing a lot and I have a lot of great ambitions, and knowing that Pepsi is helping us and giving us this great opportunity, it's great encouragement. It's like lifeline. It's oxygen for me right now. And, you know, keep it up. And WCC, I thank you once again. I don't know how you sent me the email or the link, but it couldn't come at a more opportune time. So thank everyone again. And all the other students, I wish you all the best in your application, and everyone. I hope you all you guys get to make the list. Okay.
All right, you all have your homework. We're going to end the session and you're going to do your applications.
Sorry, quick question.
Great. We're going to
Before we
celebrate a
end.
commencement.
I noticed on the application form that there was a question about financial aid. Does it affect, or do you have to have a minimum income to apply, or is that going to affect my application?
So financial need is one of the criteria that needs to be demonstrated as a part of the application process. There is an option to upload your student aid report. It's not required, but you can upload that if you'd like, and helping to demonstrate the financial need piece. But the main 3 criteria that we're looking for, again, are the academic success, right? So that minimum 3.0 GPA, the leadership around work experience, community involvement, and then demonstrating financial need and sharing how the scholarship will help you attain your educational and career goals. Absolutely.
Tracy and Eileen, I
Thank
wanted
you.
you to know you're getting a lot of love and a lot of thank yous inside of the chat room. All right. So great job, ladies.
Lovely, lovely.
We're
Well,
sharing that
again,
right back.
join me, everybody, in thanking Tracy for being here today and for spearheading this brand new program and for letting us be a part of it. And the information is on your screen for any questions that you might have. Best of luck. Make us proud, as you always do. And Excelsior.
Wonderful.
Thank you
Thanks,
very much,
everyone.
Tracy.
Bye.
Thank
Take
you.
care. Bye-bye. Thank you, Eileen.
Thank you,
Jose.
Tracy.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good luck, everybody.
Thank you. guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you.
So much.